And welcome back here one final time to the Navan Memorial Center here. One final time on the 2022-2023 season as the Navan Grads drop Game 7 by a 3-1 score to the Brockville Braves. And the number 7 seed Brockville Braves take this series, a 4-3 series final. And they'll move on to face the Ottawa Junior Senators in the second round of the Bogart Cup playoffs. A good handshake there between the captain for the Braves, and then the two goaltenders giving each other some love here after the game. Sammy Mola and Braden McIntosh. An elongated celebration for the two of them. Both goaltenders played absolutely fantastic. Tommy Young, Brett Bonisteel up here in the booth. The CKDJ 107.9 post-game show is brought to you by Algonquin College. Your learning never comes to a dead end with Algonquin. And, well, Brett, the Grads put up a good fight. They just couldn't quite solve Sammy Malu.
No, I mean, what a performance tonight for Mr. Malu. Turns 41 of 42 Navan attempts aside in an MVP-like performance. Honest to God, if it wasn't Sean James this year, I would probably hand it to Sammy Malu, because if you take Sammy Malu away from the Brockville Braves roster, they're probably in a lot of trouble this season.
Absolutely.
But Brockville came out and they shocked a lot of people taking this series here. The 7 seed over the 2 seed. Brockville came out with a 3-0 lead in this series, and then that was squandered, and the reverse sweep was on deck. But, man, they reset, came in here on the road as the underdog with little to no momentum on their side, and came out with a solid, real 60-minute performance and a 3-1 victory to top it all off.
Yeah, just an absolutely fantastic game. Brett, run us through a scoring summary for the game. A 3-1 score in favor of the Brockville Braves, and they got out to an early lead.
Yeah, it was period number 1. They potted one early. 2:10 into the frame. The captain, El Capitano, Lucas Culhane's 4th of the season from Powers and Reed, and they were off to the races there. And then one with 15 seconds left in the first period. Man, that was potentially the game-breaking goal right there. One that was a little bit cringy. It popped up in the air, rolled off the back, and landed on the line. Colin Elliott poked it in for his second of the offs. Culhane and Cole with the assists. Lone goal in the second period came at the 15:51 mark. The big-bodied defenseman Nick Foster had a heck of a series. 3 goals now with that power play marker, the assist going to Colin Elliott, and Brockville led 3-0 after 40 minutes. 3:46 into the third. Nico Paoni, he was excellent throughout the opening round as well. His 4th from Caden Faust. And Brockville really turned on the energy in that opening part of the period, and the fans got engaged, and it looked like they were going to make a game of it. But that was it. That was it for the scoring as Sammy Malu shut it down after that. And they're going to go on to face the Ottawa Junior Senators, Tommy. We're receiving word that game might be tomorrow night, which would be crazy.
And that's going to be really rough for this Brockville Braves squad, just battling out a rough and tumble game here against the Navan Grads. They're immediately going to say, all right, have a good sleep tonight. We're driving back to Brockville. Get on the bus nice and early tomorrow as we got to go to Leitrim to take on the number 1 Ottawa Junior Senator. That's going to be a rough game tomorrow for the Brockville Braves, but if there's a team that can weather that, it's probably the Brockville Braves. They've had the fight in them all season long. Early in the season, they were out of a playoff spot, and they battled their way back to take this one in 7 games. It was a battle all season long, and, well, they're still alive here in this one. Sammy Malu, again, was a huge part of this game, but, you know, that dynamic duo of Culhane and Elliott, that 1-2 punch at the top end for Brockville really helped put them over the hump in this game.
They really did, and they really had Game 7 playoff-like performances when Brockville needed them to play like that the most. I also look to a guy like Nathaniel Burrell, who is a playoff guy through and through. Had a heck of a third period, got a little ugly there at the end, but just an all-around team effort from Brockville. They came and they shocked a lot of people straight up.
Absolutely. There are 3 stars for tonight's game from the final of the last game of the first round of the 2023 Bogart Cup playoffs. Your 3rd star from the Navan Grads, the heart and soul of this Grads team. It's the captain, Gabriel Crete. Didn't have a point in this one, but he was all over the ice. A factor in almost every single play he was on the ice, even though he never found his way onto the score sheet. And, well, he was just the backbone of this Grads team all season long.
He left it all out there tonight. He started the game today with a massive hit and then a nice shot on goal. Tried to carry the load as best as he could, but just wasn't able to get over the hump here.
The local boy, the Gloucester-born forward, wearing the captaincy this year as the 0-3 for the Grads. And, he was just one of the biggest parts of this Grads team. And, of course, the second star, the second half of that 1-2 punch, it's Colin Elliott from the Brockville Braves, a goal and an assist for him. The first star, the guy with the game winner, Lucas Culhane, a goal and an assist for the Braves forward and the Braves captain. And, well, he was just, one of the best players the Braves threw at the Grads tonight.
Yeah, not sure how Sammy Malu didn't end up on this panel of 3 stars here tonight. But,
an honorable mention.
Yeah, we'll give him the honorable mention. But Lucas Culhane wearing the C for a reason. He had a heck of a game out there tonight, willing his guys to a second-round berth against the Ottawa Junior Senators. They killed a giant in the Navan Grads, and they'll look to do it again in round 2.
And to Colin Elliott as well, he's the only guy on the 3 stars who didn't have a Captain C on his chest, but he has the A. He's one of the veterans for this Brockville Braves team, and one of the things that I noticed standing up here in the booth is in the last 3 minutes of that game, I'm pretty sure he only sat on the bench for about 30 seconds total. He was gassed, but he stayed out there. He played very well defensively to help his boys and help them secure this 3-1 win.
Yeah, their coaching staff looked to their main actors, their main players to get the job done, and they definitely had a heavy dose of Colin Elliott. They had a very heavy dose of Ty Henry as well to finish things off. So those 2 guys stepping up big time, helping Brockville get the victory in the series.
Absolutely, and of course the final shots on goal in this game, the Navan Grads had the shots advantage at the very end, 18-4. In the third period for the Grads. Final 42 shots for the Navan Grads, 35 for the Brockville Braves, 41 saves for Sammy Molu, 32 for Braden McIntosh, and just a fantastic effort from both goaltenders.
Yeah, and you look at those final 40 minutes from Sammy Malu, turning away 16 shots in the second, 18 in the third. And that third period was so well managed from Malu, right? Like, they threw everything at him. They were buzzing, bodies and banging and crashing, looking for rebounds, and he didn't give up many, right? Like, he was quick to smother, and the rebound control was tremendous.
Yeah, he was all over the place, making all the saves that they really needed him to make, and he really helped push this Brockville Braves team on to the second round, where they'll play tomorrow against the Ottawa Junior Senators, who finished number 1 in the league. So another tall task for the Braves, but if there's a team that's already overcome some giants in this playoffs round, well, the Brockville Braves might be the best team for the job to take on Ottawa in the second round. Thank you so much for joining us here on CKDJ 107.9, gradsradio.mixler.com, and Hockey TV. For Tyler Sear and for Brett Bonisteel, my name is Tommy Young. Thank you so much for tuning in. You've been listening to the Bogart Cup playoffs on CKDJ 107.9, the CCHL's official radio network. Good night from the first round.